Greetings, I'm Mark with Unlimited Story, a channel dedicated to writing, world building, marketing, and most importantly, getting things done. If that's interesting to you, consider subscribing or at least checking out our website, unlimited-story.com. In this video, I'm going to be covering episode number 5 of Loki, which was incredible. Like, glorious, glorious purpose. Incredible. So if that's why you're here, stick around. And welcome back. So I'm going to be covering episodes just like I always do, breaking down the plot and all the major things as if I was beta reading. So, here we go. What did I watch? Episode number 5 of Loki. What are my initial thoughts? Boy, I have been waiting an entire season, series, or whatever to get this. This is what I was really hoping for. Just, there's so many options with the multiverse, which I'm not a fan of the multiverse, but because they have a multiverse, they're able to do a lot of different things. And boy, it was really good. And I guess the most important thing about it all is that it's very, very satisfying that the protagonist, Loki, and, Sylvie can be included in this. She's a main character too, are finally getting somewhere. It took 5 episodes for them to get a win. Like, they have spent the entire every episode basically getting crushed, losing, not getting anywhere. They were, and of course I realize that they've touted these lines like Loki's lose, they're made for everyone else to improve, yada yada yada. Okay, I get that. Like, I really do. But these characters have to start winning, because it just, again, this whole season has been very unsatisfying for me, because I want my protagonist to do something and gain something and just get the powers that you tell me that are on the website, but he doesn't have or doesn't acknowledge. I could go on forever, so let's just keep going. What was my favorite part? Glorious purpose. Classic Loki doing the old self-sacrifice, which I'm just going to go on a limb and say he isn't dead anyway, just because he's Loki. So there you go. But either way, him just making an illusion of Asgard is just crazy awesome. And now I see what Marvel did. They're like, oh hey, look at all these abilities that he has on the website, which is a bunch of BS. I made a full video complaining about it, essentially, that if he has all these abilities, why isn't he using them? And now I'm like, oh, he does have these abilities. He doesn't know it. Other Lokis have these abilities, might I add. They have developed them, which I could go into a full thing about. But either way, I really, really enjoyed classic Loki. His story, his whole, he had more character progression in this one episode than I felt like I've seen in most of this season. I just feel like it was really good. Now I feel like it's a bit much for a Loki to go from point A to point B so quickly in one episode, but either way, that was my favorite part, and it was very, very enjoyable. Is there anything I didn't like? I mean, no, not really. The whole episode I thought was pretty fabulous. If there's something I had to pick apart and say, I really didn't like, it's Miss Minutes. Anything with her. Like, she's just this little crook that's buying time, and I don't really understand how she works, if she's like fully sentient or supposedly she's some type of recording. She could be the big bad, whatever, but she knows that she has to stall for time for Renslayer, which I just don't really understand it. So is she calling the shots? Is she like some type of AI? I'm struggling there. So either way, I just found her incredibly annoying anyway. Is there anything unclear or confusing? Okay, so classic Loki can make a city-wide illusion. Great. Loki, protagonist Loki, is trying to wave this giant cloud tempest devoury thing with his flamey sword that he just got, might I add. He's trying to just wave his hands like, dude, you have magic. Stop using your swords. Like, classic Loki just told you, like, just use your magic, man. That's where your power's at. But whatever. I know he can't create citywide illusions. Like, he's not that good yet. But waving your hands doesn't even make sense. Why? You could have made any illusion. You could have made anything. Like, just make the biggest thing that you could have made. But let's run around and wave our hands. This is why you lose all the time, bro. Like this really is it. You're not even making good choices for yourself or your pseudo girlfriend you can't land. What are my thoughts on the main character? Well, now there's two. I mean, there's been two for kind of a while, but so Loki and Sylvie, they're both going through this character progression. So they actually had a really cool moment where they're sitting there talking to each other, and they realize what's going to end up happening. They want to trust each other. They're both in this really awkward position. I feel like they're 12, okay? And they're trying to like discover their first boyfriend, girlfriend. They're trying to tread water that they're just not really truly familiar with. And on top of it, since the other one's a Loki too, they know that they really can't trust them either. So there's a lot happening. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of mixed signals, but it's really enjoyable. And I will say it is very, very, it's done very well from every standpoint. The writing, the acting, like all of it is executed well to make it very clear that both these two characters are struggling with this idea that they're interested in another version of themselves that is not a good, like it's not a good choice because they're evil-ish. You know, I guess it's confusing. What I will say is, they're laying the groundwork for the last episode where the main characters, Loki and Sylvie, are going to be offered what they really want, right? Taking down the TVA, becoming king or whatever. And they're going to have to choose between that or each other and what's fulfilling, what is their glorious purpose. And, if it's Disney doing the Disney thing and giving us all a happy ending, they'll be fulfilled by having each other. They'll find out that's what they really wanted. But I would give props to Disney if they did not make a happy ending and like Loki just became evil again. Like I could see it happening. I don't think it's gonna happen, but if it did, either way would be satisfying. But man, that's evil. That's evil because we've been laying the groundwork for all these episodes where you're thinking that they're gonna get together. So either way, very, very interesting. What are my thoughts on the other characters? Really, there's nothing to talk about other characters. I mean, yes, there's Mobius. He was around driving a car. He has turned, full circle and is buddies with the Lokis. But really, let's just talk about the Lokis. All the Lokis are amazing. They are amazing. And because they exist, they really help push the plot forward. They make, they're helping protagonist Loki kind of basically see what Lokis are, right? Like he's able to see what's happening, kind of outside. Like he is way more involved with these other Lokis and sees his own character flaws with them, and it's great. I mean, I will say classic Loki and his powers are just amazing, and how he is actually able to utilize his abilities. I swear that's all I want to see from regular. Like this is the level of power he has. Like, I do a lot of comparison. Like, okay, what did Thor go through? Through his journey, he just had his hammer, and then finally in like Thor Ragnarok, he unleashed like his true potential or whatever you want to call it. So I see this and I'm like, this is what you've been able to do all the time. You're how many years old and you never decided to like, hey, maybe I should do something more than prestidigitation. Just some little fireworks. I mean, come on, use some real stuff. You got an energy blast that you used for the first time. I'm still ultra salty about that, but whatever the case, Loki sees all these other terrible Lokis, and he's coming around. He's not maybe going to be a good guy or less of a bad guy. I mean, he's a protagonist. Whatever. It's complicated. It's a Loki thing. Is there anything else I want to see from this episode? Nope. I actually felt really good about it. I felt like it was a nifty, nice little package all put together. Like it made sense. There was nothing in there that didn't make sense. Like it felt like a very cohesive episode all by itself and prepares you for the next one, which should be the season finale. And I really, that's great. That's well done. What do I expect to happen next? Well, I already kind of covered it before, but essentially they're going to go through this time door thing, whatever. And inside there, I swear, is another Loki. There is another Loki, and I'm going all in. Even though classic Loki even said that he's the one who survived Thanos, I'm willing to bet that the Loki who we saw in the movies, the one who died to Thanos, did the same thing. Like, he used an illusion or whatever and escaped Thanos. And that is the one who is sitting, at the throne or whatever. Because here's the thing, this series has thrown us for a loop multiple times, because you see Loki is in all these different attire, like President Loki. We were led to believe that was our Loki, but it isn't. It was another variant. So every time we have seen our Loki, the protagonist, he's got his little skinny tie-in and stuff. So I'm willing to bet the little previews and stuff, those are a different Loki. Or maybe it's him being projected into another illusion, whatever the case. I'm still willing to bet. I'm like 99% sure, and who knows, I could be wrong, whatever. But really, I'm willing to bet that there is a Loki sitting in that castle. I don't know what to call it. It's something. It looks like Asgard from the preview, so there you go. Something's in there, and I'm certain it's a Loki. And that Loki is going to make Sylvia and our protagonist Loki, they're going to offer them something, their dreams, whatever, and they're going to have to, I think they're going to choose each other, because again, it's Disney and we all like happy endings. How much did I like this episode? 10. I don't give out 10s very often. I have so few complaints about this episode that it just carried its way through. I went the whole way, the whole length of the episode just saying, okay, that was good. Yeah, it was good. Like, again, my only complaint is that Loki wasn't smart enough to just make illusions and instead wants to wave his it's embarrassing to even think about it. And then how excited am I for the next one? I'm just going to give it a 7, because I already feel like I have a pretty good understanding of what's going to happen. I'm hoping it's going to blow my mind. I think that would be awesome. I would really enjoy being completely surprised that maybe there's a Loki and maybe there's another Loki inside that Loki, or coaching that Loki. I just imagine there are going to be even more Lokis. But again, everyone's talking about Kang the Conqueror. Who knows? I'm ready for the season to end. I'm really excited to see where it's going to go with the variants that are available. And one other thing, I hope Mobius is on a jet ski. That is something I really want to see. Good old Mobius. Just put him on his jet ski, throw him into his timeline, and just let him go. Is there anything else I want to add? I kind of foresee that, obviously Loki and Sylvie they choose each other. There's romance or something. My big thing is that they're going to leave this timeline in such shambles that Nexus events will start happening, but that's not really going to be the ultimate catalyst. I think Kang the Conqueror is just going to come into this power vacuum and just take control, or something is going to happen. Somebody who's actually, maybe there's a puppet master of some type that gets revealed, but either way, good guys escape, everything should be gravy. So those are my thoughts on this episode. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for this season finale. I don't want to say this episode redeemed the last 4, because I really didn't enjoy the first 4 where Loki just kept failing. It just felt like I was watching this because I wanted to watch Loki fail, which is a shame, because I absolutely find him to be the most interesting and incredibly wonderful character in the entire MCU. So bummer. But either way, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe or at least watch one of my videos that YouTube recommends. Peace.